We shall be able to go. Welcome to Section 31, episode number 316. I'm Dan Hammond.
And I am Rogue Schindler.
This week, we're going to be talking about Dragon Con, which Rogue just came back from, and we will briefly touch on Worlds. Worlds happened last weekend, and it looks like congratulations to one Peter Ludwig and one Michael Van Bremen. If I'm not mistaken, I think I saw somewhere that Ken won triples, but I don't see any results left. So we'll see.
I don't know what it is, but the triples results always seem to get delayed.
You know, it's always the last event of the con. There's not another night, that you're gonna, or a morning that you can set it up. So I understand completely. I only recently put in the Gen Con preliminary round events results for triples. So if you were playing at Gen Con and you realized that we only had the top table because that's what's important, to name a winner, I went back and put in all the preliminary round ones for tables 1, 2, 3. So if you've been waiting for that, you can go add your deck, maybe get an achievement or something, and go for it. And maybe you get another triples win under your belt because it counts as a different round, I believe.
Yeah,
right
I think so.
So you, sir, just came back from Atlanta.
I did. We were not planning to go this year, what with the additional family obligations, but having come back from Comic-Con and had have her basically sleep through the whole thing, as a friend of ours put it, they're basically just a fussy purse at this stage. So it's actually just kind of like taking extra luggage. So we had both been disappointed that we weren't going. There were things that were going to happen that we were excited for, and so eventually we were just like, hey, let's see if we can make this happen. So I did not go for my usual, as cons go, Dragon Con is usually my, okay, we're going to go for a week, Tuesday to Tuesday, and relax, enjoy the whole thing, get there early, stay late, and just, because it's so exhausting. It's one of the few, things are happening all the time, cons. But we managed to get in. We flew in Friday morning, which is the start of the con, instead of
usually
Tuesday night.
Yeah, like a couple of days early, right?
Yeah, we usually I like to go like Tuesday night or take a red eye and then be there Wednesday, because then you have basically it's becoming like a pre-con. There's definitely, but by Thursday it's a full-blown event. Like, it's as busy on Thursday almost as it is on Friday, because there's no con events going on, there's no panels, but because it's held in a hotel, the party starts when the people get there, and as more people get there, it's like, oh well, I'm going to wear this costume on Thursday just because there are people here, and then everybody starts doing it, and then it's like, oh my gosh, Thursday is a full-blown con day now, so if I want to get there early, I have to get there on Wednesday and have Wednesday be my day to relax. And it's like, well, if I want to be there on Wednesday, I need to flee. And Monday is a madhouse because everybody's leaving and it's the holiday, so it's better to stay till Tuesday because then you can relax Monday night and not be leaving in the rush. So it just kind of keeps ballooning outwards. But the couple of years ago that we decided to start making it a longer trip, definitely a great decision. If you're thinking about going to Dragon Con and you're thinking about doing what I did our first year, I would suggest not doing that, which is, well, it's a Labor Day, it's a holiday weekend, Labor Day. So if we take the red eye out Thursday night, I only have to take one day off of work, which is Friday, and then have the weekend, and we can come back Monday night. You will not be a happy person when you get home.
Yeah, that is a rough, because you need a vacation from your vacation when you come back from something like that.
Yeah. And we needed an additional vacation on top of that because we had a really rough Friday. It's a big, long saga, but suffice it to say, a piece of our luggage was stolen off the carousel when we got in, and it ended up being found and then recovered, but only some of the stuff was taken, and so we had to basically go through a whole ordeal of finding the person who found it, getting it back to the airport, reporting it to the airline, and filing claims. And so not only did we not get there until Friday midday, we basically lost all of the con Friday to dealing with that. So that was kind of frustrating, but we were lucky enough to have friends who met up with us and helped us deal with that. And so we at least got to spend some time with people we wanted to see while we were there as we were getting going. And it kind of wrapped itself up Friday, so it wasn't something that was holding over our heads for the rest of the weekend. So
that's good. At least you could mostly put it behind you, right?
Exactly. We were kind of bummed because some costume pieces were in there, and we really wanted to do those new costumes. We managed to get enough of it back to do all of those, and get things resolved Friday, so that by Saturday we could really enjoy ourselves, which is what we did. Saturday was fantastic. We had a great time. We had another meetup with the 100, which is our recent big fandom. Not that recent since I keep talking about it, but there were several people there, including the character that I cosplay, the actor who was supposed to be there last year, and then he had to cancel at the and by the last minute, I mean, on Friday they said, oh, he's not going to make it on Friday, but he'll be here and then on Saturday it's like, yeah, he's not going to make it today, but he'll be here tomorrow. And then by Saturday night, like, yeah, he's not coming.
Holding out hope, but didn't work out.
Exactly. So he did show up this year, and he was great. He was a really good guy. All 4 of them were fantastic. The 2 that were at WonderCon remembered us from that, and Lindsay, who was at Comic-Con, remembered us from the baby line because we brought. He was like, "Oh, I get to hold a baby," because she had. And she was like, "Can I hold your baby?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure." And we're like, maybe she was just kidding around, but yeah, half the cast was passing baby around in the Walk of Fame, which is the Dragon Con autograph area, and they all really had a good time. Station, who plays Dr. Jackson, was really, he was like a baby whisperer, and he loved hanging out with her, and he's like, he's like, you have to come by. We were like, oh yeah, we got to go change so we can wear this costume. You have to bring her by so I can see that. We wish going by and saying hi. He was great. Morley, who was the character I was excited to see, who I play, was really great, and played with her, and so that was really kind of rewarding. It was cool. We went to their panel. We had a costume group meet up with a bunch of people, which I think we almost doubled the number we had last year, which was really exciting.
Cool.
And trekked over to the Walk of Fame with them. A lot of fun, really good. So that was a great morning and day. I was a little disappointed. I think this is kind of a symptom of losing Friday, because I didn't realize until it was too late on Saturday that Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil, he was one of the other people I was really excited to see, was only there Friday and Saturday. And by the time I found out he was only there Friday and Saturday, they had already capped his line for Saturday. And I had brought a costume specifically because I wanted to wear that and get a picture with him. So that was kind of a bummer, but I did get to walk by and see him, and he was very cool. He was, by all accounts, everybody who said they encountered him said he was a great guy. And now that he's doing, Marvel, he's in the fandom. He's going to be really, he likes doing these things, so he's going to come back. I guess because it was the 30th anniversary of Dragon Con, they did this instead of usually they're like, okay, this is our person of the show or media guest star, the headliner. And because it was the anniversary, they're like, oh no, we're going to divvy this up. So we're going to get 4 headliners, and they're all going to be here for 2 days only. So we can have, a big marquee list, except that means that you got to see them less.
Of course, right.
And yeah, I didn't realize that. And it turned out to be really bad because Gillian Anderson had to cancel one of her 2 days. She was there Monday, I think. Mid-morning Saturday, she found out she had to leave. She couldn't stay for Sunday, but she was super cool about it. Everybody she posted on Twitter and made it known through the con. She's like, I'm going to stay as late as I have to tonight. Because they schedule it pretty tightly. They're like, okay, you got an hour to do photo ops, and then you'll sign for this much or whatever. But she was like, if you have a ticket for a photo op with me, I'm going to stay here until you get it done. If you can't come during my photo op times, come at the booth, and then we can take a selfie. Just show me that you have a ticket, and and she was very accommodating, which was
really nice. That's amazing.
was pleasantly surprised to see, because she doesn't really do conventions, and they really underestimated. They put her in a not big enough room for her panel, and there was a rush to get in because once everybody found out she was only going to do one panel, on Saturday and not Sunday, then kind of cram in. So it was really nice of her to be that accommodating for that. So yeah, hopefully Charlie Cox will come back. He was also the lead in Stardust, which is a favorite a fantasy movie of Caitlin and I's based on a Neil Gaiman short story. And I had brought that costume to go and show, take pictures with him. So I can bring it again. I still got it more, but we figured out one of my wigs that will work. So that was kind of the only bummer scheduling wise for that. But it did mean we had to do. Wow, now I'm totally blanking. The Star Wars group, which I think I mentioned last time. I got my Poe helmet in, and way back in January, some friends who were putting a group together were doing an invitation-only, one of every character, full Star Wars saga, and they wanted me to be Poe, which I was like, yes, make me the Poe Dameron. I am the Poe Dameron of all time.
Nice.
It's like, well, I would love to, absolutely love to, but we're not going. So you still need somebody? Like, yeah, actually, our Poe just canceled, so we can go back to first choice. So I ran back and changed up for that. We got some amazing shots, and I can't wait to see some of the pictures that come back. We got a little bit of a preview, but it was really sweet to kind of see them all lined up in kind of trilogy clumps. And then we went and took some on the stairs and hung out for a while. So that was a lot of fun. And then afterwards, I got to meet back up with our friend Betsy had made a Poe Dameron dress. So it was like a Resistance pilot inspired and I'm blanking on it, but I don't think anybody cares. But it's a dress inspired by his costume, and Caitlin had actually borrowed that and then brought the baby dressed as BB-8. So afterwards, we had some nice family Resistance pictures taken as we went out to dinner and just kind of hung out with friends. So it was really cool. We got to kind of hit the highlights and do a bunch of stuff. That was sort of the big busy day. Not a lot of, we only had so much time given that we were there for only part of the con. So getting to see the people that we wanted to see and hit a few of the events was a big highlight. Sunday, which was our only other of the con, I had made a point the day before to go check on his signing times, because that was the other inspiration for me wanting to go, was bringing us back around to Star Trek. Alexander Siddig.
Right, we talked about that before you
who played Dr. Bashir, was there, and he did a DS9 panel, which unfortunately I missed, and he did a Game of Thrones panel. But yeah, he had a few hours in the hall. He didn't do I'm going to park. Anytime I'm not in a panel or doing a photo op, I'm sitting at my, which is what a lot of people do. He was like, no, I'll be there for a couple hours, and so. It's like, all right, I'm going to make sure I hit this window on Sunday because this is, one of the big reasons. And so I did. I went and saw him. He was super nice. He was very cool to everybody. I happened to catch him while he was getting escorted in, and he stopped. He was a little bit behind, but he made a point of stopping and complimenting his escort and thanking her for everything he did for her that day, and just really wishing her well. It's like, oh, you didn't have to do that. That was really cool.
Nice.
And then we had a nice chat about families at cons, but then I kind of plunked this down, and you can see there on the corner, there it is in gold.
Oh yeah, nice, very good.
The new edition, Alexander Siddig. He's like, oh, there's a lot of ink on this. I was like, yep, it's very close. You're my penultimate signature. And he kind of sighs and looks up and goes, let me guess, Colm. I was like, that's right. He's like, yep. Colm is always the last one, and I'm always the penultimate.
Wow, that's funny. That's funny to hear.
Yeah, it's like I am amused that it was like it's so prevalent that they're aware of it. And he had even said, he's like, because I I got more than one thing signed because I was like, oh, you know, while you're here, I thought, you know, could you sign this and could you sign this? Because I was like, yeah, you know, it's good. You know, I'm probably not going to be at one of these for a while. And I was like, that's kind of what I figured. So nice. I had to get that for the collection. You know, normally, especially for people that I like, think I'll see frequently, I'll get one thing signed, and then if I see them again, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe now I've got my portrait signed. Maybe I'll get a card signed this year, and then maybe I'll get something else signed next year. But since he's kind of a rarity, and we only saw him once, I felt it necessary to the one I would play most. I kind of wanted to get Secret Agent Julian Bashir signed, but I was like, no. This is what's going to see play. This is what's going to be in my deck, and I have a decent amount of Terran Empire already signed. So.
Yeah, Captain Bashir was an excellent choice, especially with the frequency at which you play it, as you say.
So that was a great experience. He was really cool and nice to everybody and hang out with the baby. So that felt like I was like, all right, crossed everything off the list, and he even appreciated our baby costume. I don't know if you are familiar with, I think I asked you this already, there's a Netflix original series that's really hot right now called Stranger Things.
I've heard about it. I've heard a lot about it, heard good things about it, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah. There's one of the main characters in it is a little girl who is basically got her head shaved because she's been involved in things that are crucial to the plot. I won't spoil right now, but she's a little bald girl. And at one point she gets dressed up in a friend's little pink dress, and you know they're trying to pass her off as a normal kid. And we're like, hey, we had been joking in advance of, it's like, okay, our baby has no hair, so we should do a Captain Picard costume and maybe a Furiosa costume, which unfortunately didn't work out in time. But we had been watching that, getting ready for the con, and like Caitlin got really excited. She's like, this is something we could totally get, you know, secondhand. Go to a thrift shop and buy some clothes and costumes for us to look like background characters. And she was one of the, aside from stupid Suicide Squad Harley Quinn, 11 was one of the biggest costumes.
Wow.
There. It was very popular. Everybody who was doing Stranger Things had seen Stranger Things, very excited about it. And so the baby 11 got a lot of play. Which was really fun. I'll have to post some pictures. I know several of you have already commented on Facebook posts that I've done, so that was a lot of fun, and really got a good use out of those. And that took us through mid-Sunday, and so we did manage to catch the second 100 panel because Lindsay had been, she was absent for the first 100 panel we went to, likely because they had been partying a little too hard the night before. But so we wanted to catch another one so we could see her on the panel as well, and that was a lot of fun. Hit that up again. We had stayed at a hotel. We were not at that con, which was a little bit further away, but it ended up being fantastic because the host hotels are so just jam-packed full and busy all the time. We could easily walk back to our hotel and then walk back to where we were going. In the same time, it would take somebody to get an elevator, go up to their room, back down in the elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah. The elevators are a nightmare in the host hotels. It's just crazy, particularly the Marriott. So that was really easy. We went back, and again, our roommate and friend who kind of enabled our trip, Betsy, had made a whole group of us new Ghostbusters jumpsuits. And so we all suited up, and Caitlin had made got a little green jumper and made a little green hat, and so we had Baby Slimer.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was great, and it worked because she slimed me. It was thematic. He was definitely our little Slimer, but it was so much fun. It was great casual costume, and we got a lot of compliments. There was some concern about some of the old guard Ghostbusters fans kind of being, either cold shoulder or openly aggressive against the new Ghostbusters because there's such a blowback in fandom about it, but we got nothing but inclusive comments. It was really great. Lots of compliments, lots of, knowing nods from, old guard Ghostbusters, new guard Ghostbusters. Everybody really excited about it. Everybody loved little baby Slimer, and we had 5 of us together doing it. It was a great time and really comfy costumes, which is a rarity.
I was gonna say that doesn't happen very often, right? Usually it's the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh my god, this is. I love it. So we got to meet up with a few friends and say hi. Wandered around as Ghostbusters basically the rest of the night. Shoot, there was something else I was going to say about that, and I can't remember what it was, but yeah. Oh, that's right. While we were wandering around, I ran into an old friend of ours who also frequents Dragon Con. He lives in Atlanta these days. Now, we had passed on the escalator briefly on our first day, but it was really cool to see him in action. He's really gotten into cosplay recently in the last couple of years, and really he's owning it now. He had put together a group. You're probably aware of it. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen the Saturday Night Live skit where the guy who plays Kylo Ren?
Yes. Yes.
And they did the undercover boss with radar technician Matt.
Mm-hmm.
There was a running of the mats. It was probably like 12 or 15 radar technician mats, and they were going around and basically proselytizing the glory of Kylo Ren, and just it was hilarious, and Kevin Reitzel was the ringleader of Decipher. He's a Decipher alum, for those of you who remember the old Star Wars days, and Lord of the Rings too. He was big on Lord of the Rings. I don't think he was as heavy on Star Trek side, but really fun guy. It was great to see him, and he was hilarious. He was in character. All of them were in character the whole time, and it was like hearing them echo each other and then say things in unison in the same kind of angry, hilariously awkward voice, and it was like, that baby is really cute. Is almost as cute as Kylo Ren was when he was a baby. And they would just they'd like stop and pose for pictures, and then they're like, okay, 1, 2, 3, and they would very awkwardly unison chant, "Sunday night, Matt attack!" And then they would kind of jog off into another area to take pictures. Okay. It was easily the funniest thing that we saw all weekend. Just really, really funny. I think I had some. He posted some videos, and I reblogged them on Facebook because it was so funny. It's hard to really express how hilarious they were, just being all uniformly awkward.
I'm looking at a Matt radar technician action figure that somebody modded from Kylo Ren, and it's just amusing. Awesome. Yeah, that's perfect. I like the same the orange vest thing. Reminds me of running around with an ice cream machine, right? Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where they got the idea. Because that's a thing at Celebration. They have the running of the hoods. But that was hilarious. And then the other thing that I did, which I had continued that night and kind of culminated, a friend from at Comic-Con, the end of Sunday, I don't know if I told you this already offline or on the podcast, but at the end of Sunday, we were talking about, there was Pokemon Go is really big right now, and it was all over Comic-Con. It was only like a week or two old at that point. A lot of people did Pokemon costumes, lots of Pokemon costumes brought back, made popular again. And he was like, man, I really wish I had like picked up some of those like red rubber balls like from dodgeball as a kid, and just painted them like Pokeballs and just like chucked them at people who were on. And I was like, oh my god, that's the best idea ever. And it's like 15 minutes before the end of the con. It's like, and at that time we were like, I'm not going to another con this year, and it's gonna die by next year. It's not going to be popular anymore. Like, well, that's just such a tragedy. But man, that would have been such a great idea. So literally like at the hour we decided we were going to Dragon Con, I got on Amazon and I ordered a box of 24 little stress balls. And spent the week painting them red and white and putting little electrical tape around them and really putting way too much into making them look accurate. I could have just made them white and people wouldn't have cared. But every costume I wore, I had my little hip pouch that goes with all my costumes, and I just had it full of Pokeballs the whole time. And anytime I saw a Pokemon, I started pelting them with little foam balls, and I got close to the same reaction every time, which is, what the and then they'd see what it is and either start laughing and give me a thumbs up, or they'd turn around and they'd start
dancing and dodging,
batting it away the way they do in the game. So it was really fun. I was a little nervous at the last minute because I thought it was such a great idea, and then at the last minute I was like, oh my god, what if people don't get it and they're horrified and like, why are you throwing? The first one was like this really entertained pregnant lady in the food court who had a big Snorlax t-shirt over her belly. And so I made a point of like deliberately missing her but being around her so she would catch, you see it out of the corner of your eye, is that a Pokeball? And then so that was a lot of fun. I'll have to post it somewhere. I made a list. After a while I started a list of all the Pokemon I caught.
Very good.
Through the cons, I could see it. Sunday night was the best because there was a girl who had made like a little hunched down costume, and she made a Magikarp, which is like a giant goldfish, and she would just kind of sit there and flop in her little pool that was like a skirt part of the costume. And we did some fun video of trying to, because Magikarp is supposed to be the easiest thing to catch, and it's always a pain in the ass. And so we did a short little video of missing all the balls of the Magikarp, and I turned around, I was like, thanks Magikarp, we'll post this so you can see it. And she looking down the barrel of her big fish mouth, and she grabs the sides of her cheeks and her fish cheeks and pushes them in and goes, mwah!
Awesome.
So that was kind of a great culmination of the Pokemon weekend. A lot of Pokemon running around, and we just kind of hung out for the rest of that evening and just relaxed because we had a good time. We watched part of the Masquerade, which is always horrible. They really need a better Masquerade there.
Yeah, you'd think the culmination of all the cons of dressing up, they'd actually have a good contest, but it sounds like it's always been bad.
Yeah, and I think part of it is, the people in the good costumes don't want to waste all their time at the Masquerade when they could be out on the floor showing them off. And then the other part of it is it's gotten such a reputation of being a bad Masquerade that nobody wants to do it anymore. So that's too bad, but fun. At least that meant that while the Masquerade was going on, it does suck away some people off the floor, so it was actually manageable to walk around. So enjoyed that part of it. Made our way around before it got too crazy in the evening, and then we're like, we got to head back and pack up because we had to leave at 8 o'clock the next morning. So we had a whirlwind. It was a very whirlwind trip.
It sounds like it, but I'm glad you got to go and take part. That's, how many years in a row you've been going?
It's funny you should mention that because I realized while we were there that this was our 10th.
Oh, perfect.
This was our 10th Dragon Con, and then we would have broke the streak if we hadn't gone. So, now we can break it. And we did 10 in a row. That's what we did with Gen Con, right?
Yeah, something like that. Exactly.
It was like, all right, we're going to take a break this year and go to Origins, but we got our 10 in a row under the belt. So,
yeah. Right on. Well, I've got
time. Yeah.
I look forward to vicariously seeing those pictures on someone else's computer, looking over their shoulder. But I've got two spoilery things here, so we can get back to Star Trek for a bit.
Sure.
Unless you have something else you want to add, we can end with that. What do you say?
I don't have anything else Star Trek. Oh, we did have a moderate Star Trek anecdote was while we were waiting in line for Alexander Siddig, he was seated next to Garrett Wang, who played Ensign Kim, and I guess Lara had been staring at him from the carrier, and he kind of we kind of looked up because he started making faces, and we looked over, and he's like, "Oh, your baby is staring at me," and he picked up one of his little, started and like, "Look, it's Ensign Kim. Yay!" And then he pauses and he goes, "You know what? There's probably some people behind you who don't see that you have a baby, and they just see me going." Like, wow, Ensign Kim really lost it. He's all by himself at his table, and he has to keep himself entertained. So that was pretty funny.
You already have your Ensign Kim signed things?
I do.
Yeah. Right on. All right. So you want to talk briefly about what went on at Worlds, and then we could talk about these spoilers?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So I had the window open that had the answers, and then it closed. So we can find that again. There we go. So Michael Van Bremen played a deck called Ken Takes My Deck and Wins Worlds. Now it's my turn. So Constructed Worlds Day 2 first place. This is a, 26 card dilemma pile, 36 card draw deck. I want to say this is a deck that I saw similarly played at Gen Con because it's just a bunch of common and uncommon people. There's a rare, there's a Kira rare, but it's just a fast, quick play, play your cards and do your stuff and get around things with. Boy, is there anything to get around things? I see a couple of common cause, common purpose, holding sail, attacking the wind, and common enemy.
Yeah. It looks like a few accelerants and then one, deterrent for your opponent. Yeah, just go get it done.
Yeah,
that's what
exactly.
It looks like.
I thought there was a version of this that had Walk the Line in it, but I don't see that here. So like you said, just there's only 2 ships in the deck with plus attacking.
36 cards. You couldn't get that down one. You needed you needed that one extra card. You couldn't get down to minimum. I don't know where you'd cut though. This is so slim, and I love looking. I absolutely love looking down this card list and seeing personnel: Bajoran, Cardassian, Federation, Ferengi, Klingon, non-aligned, Romulan.
Romulan, yeah, that's amazing.
So that's great. I love that he's making use of that Deep Space Nine variety flavor, and took it all the way to Worlds and won with it. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Or took Ken's and went to Worlds and won with it. But hey, it's not just who builds the ship; it's who pilots it.
23 personnel. That's not a lot of personnel.
It's not.
No.
And I don't see any recovery.
Does tacking have recovery on it? Shuffle up to 10 cards in your personnel ships from your discard pile in your deck. So you can use that.
Oh, sure. There you go.
But assuming you didn't use it to get a ship.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that looks like a fun deck that anyone could take and play, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because it's quick and lightning fast, and
at least the deck side.
Yeah. Dilemma pile is all-consuming evil, bold plan. Yeah, that looks familiar. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tougher to play. And just a couple.
It is. You kind of have to have some experience with that to really play it well.
I look forward to playing
which I don't.
I will steal Michael Van Bremen's deck that he stole from Ken, so that'll be something I play in the future. On the 1E side, I'm seeing a lot of androids. It looks like an 81 card draw deck with a bunch of Dr. Sorens and Soong type androids and Sooners as one Soon as a non-aligned. So androids, Cardassian, and a continuing mission. So it's all TNG stuff.
Yeah, I was excited when I saw it was a TNG deck that survived and still managed to hold on and win, but it's not really a TNG deck. This is an Android deck that's supported by TNG.
Well, I mean, you can't play androids for free with tension all hands, so you got to use cybernetics expertise,
right?
Which means you got to get cybernetics out. So there's a little bit of a chunk to it, but yeah, that's a lot of free plays and a lot of mid mid-turn, well, a couple mid-turn draws. I like the holodeck doors, so I'm gonna look through and see what holograms they're playing too. Oh, you know what? They're not playing holograms. That's for the Barrage guys.
Yeah, Barrage.
Yep. Picard, Data, and Troy.
Only 16 dilemmas, though. 14, technically 14 dilemmas, but 2 quantum incursions.
Okay. Well, it must be super fast, so you don't. You just got to hold them for a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Looks like some basically hold them off stall tactics. Quantum incursions is, you have to just beat your head around medical crisis, whale probe, founder secret. Yeah, just a lot of delaying tactics so you can get out there and speed through.
Yep, and pack some wormhole in case the opponent stops there to relocate the ship.
Yeah, jewel of the game. Yeah, well put together deck. Computer crash, slow down the key download.
Future Enterprise in the tent. That's funny. Oh, it's for Admiral Riker, maybe?
Yeah, wall of ships.
Cool. All right. Congratulations to Peter and Michael. And I did look back. It looked like Ken won Tribble, so we'll see what deck he played there. Maybe comment on it. During a previous event, there was a chance to get a sneak peek at a card. And one of the cards was this one. Let me put it up on the board so you can see it here too. Cameraman, screen share. Here we go. That one. Share. All right, take a look at that.
What does it mean, exact change?
Yes. Patty found a 1E spoiler in Christoph Wilker's beard. So
I like the 50 icon.
Yes, 50 icon is nice. And to get past requires exactly 50 cunning from all the way team members.
Oh, wow.
May be nullified by stopping 2 personnel, opponent's choice, until end of next turn.
Okay, there you go. It's like, that's going to be tough, but or you can take 2 stops.
I love that the 50 made it into the game text. That's awesome. But or you can stop. Let your opponent choose 2 people to be stopped until the end of next turn. So that's pretty good. It is an AU dilemma, so I guess Guinan can nullify it. But
and that also means you have to make sure you can support it, have a way to open the preceding AU dilemmas. So, give and take.
Exactly. That reminds me, I need to take that off one of the cards we're testing. All right, so that was interesting. I've got another. So the 50th anniversary is going to be 3 sets, right? It's going to be 1E, 2E, and tribbles. So I have the tribble proof set here.
Ooh.
So I figured I'd spoil one of them. And in order to figure out which one it would be, I would just roll this 20-sided die and just ignore a 19 or a 20. What do you say?
Sure.
All right, here we go. That is a 19, so I will not spoil anything.
Boo.
Let me roll again. 17, all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Ooh, 100,000. Maybe 50,000, or maybe 10,000, but probably 100,000.
17 negative, because there are 2 troubles in this set.
Ooh.
So this is trouble at Club Martis. I like this one. This is we decided that we were going to make.
Oh, that's the alien gambling device guy.
Alien gambling device guy, and you can take a look at the picture if you can see it. All the alien gambling devices have been replaced with tribbles. So there are the troubles in this set are the fun type. They're not the punish a certain card play. So this says miss on a 10 or recycle or draw 2. You can flip this to something else. All players flip their draw decks. The bottom card is now the top card. So while this is up, you control fate, as it were. So if you're playing a poison deck, you know exactly what's coming up where.
Oh, wow.
If you don't like that, you can draw 2 cards and it'll go away. But also, you know what you're going to draw. So if you play a go, you can draw because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, sure.
Or,
hey, I guess I'll go.
If your turn's coming up, you can just make it go by really quick by saying, I don't have it and I'm not going to draw it. But like most troubles, it's only going to be up for a little while and it'll be passed on to something else. And
I'm going.
Go ahead.
I could play a card, but I'm going to pass and draw this 100,000 off the top of my deck, so you can't have it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's interesting. There's a lot of interesting things you can do. But as I was going to say, since it is another trouble, we're further diluting the trouble pile even more, right? Every time another trouble comes out.
Right.
So any one trouble will be seen less and less likely. I guess unless you want to play some of the cards that fix the trouble deck or the trouble pile. But there you go. So something new.
And you, as a reminder, you have to play, if you're playing troubles, you have to play all the currently legal troubles, right? You can't just
pick one. Yeah.
Keep running. Yeah. Well, you know.
Yeah. You got to play them all.
These will have to be added to all the existing trouble decks. So.
Right on. So I would expect to see
awesome.
more and more of the 50th anniversary preview cards, as it were, coming up. And speaking of preview cards, a new card is coming out. Going with kits, a new whitewater card. So check that out. All right. I don't know when that's coming, so it's probably going to be, I think we decided late September. I don't know. I probably wasn't supposed to spoil that. Who cares? Let's move on. I don't think we have anything else. So shall we wrap up?
I think that's it. There was so much going on this weekend. So if you are a nerd or a geek or a gamer of some kind into fandom, there was much to do this weekend. There was Salt Lake City Comic Con. There was PAX East. There was San Francisco Comic Con. There was Dragon Con. There was Worlds. So I don't know how you'd have to choose. I'm definitely glad I wasn't inclined to go to Worlds this year, having it be up against Dragon Con. So I'm sure we have a lot of exhausted listeners and viewers out there. So I hope you had fun this weekend. I certainly did. I'm also exhausted. I hope everybody has a great time in London. We've been seeing lots of people posting extended vacations as they took their trip out to World. So have a great trip home, everybody, those of you who have to travel. And I think we will just have some more news next week, yeah?
That sounds like a plan.
All right. I am Sir Rogue.
And I am Sir Dan.
And I will remind you all to expand your power.